everybody. Welcome to City Love Speak. Woo! It has been technical difficulty week at Mahogany Still Productions.
Yeah.
I was like, sometimes you just need to be reminded that the hood is not very far away, and
Not at
you
all.
just got to dig up through it. This is what happens. So, welcome, everybody. My name is Greg. And I'm introduce our host, Stephen Moskowitz.
Hello.
I'm sorry, Moskowitz.
It's all good.
Watching Coastal Elites has made me want to make you a full-fledged Jew. I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I'm not in any fledged Jew.
I don't know why. I just see you. I see you with that. Having your New York Times.
I have an ambiguously white energy. You don't know where to put me.
Hey, I mean, it's just crazy.
Yikes.
Of course, Tabitha Robinson Scott. Dwayne A. Townsend joins us back on his whirlwind craziness of gazing back into the world of COVID.
Yes.
And of course, our friend from Working It Out, Damian Michael Williams.
Hello.
Oh my God! So this week has been weekend was it was a little bit of a lot.
Roller coaster.
It was a little bit of a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
With the Emmys, trying something brand new in their virtual show, which was really kind of uniquely different. I mean, I know Damien watched it, but did any of you guys watch?
I did. Yeah, I did.
And thoughts, concerns?
I actually appreciate the virtual version of the what is this? The Emmys, right? Yes, the Emmys. You get up there in age and you forget what you're watching. You know.
Hey, it happens.
Right. It happens. Blame the head, not the heart. But actually, I enjoyed it. I mean, there were some jokes that were said that pretty much hit the floor and wasn't received. There were no laughs. But I actually liked it that way. I don't know. I'm more of a digital guy, so everything that's digital right now, this is my era. I'm like, yes, I live for this. This is what you don't have to interact with people. You don't have to all that. The spectacle of all. I know there wasn't a red carpet, which is fine. We'll catch you on the Instagram. We'll see what you wore at home.
Well, right. Which I kind of enjoyed a little, but didn't, because as a stylist, now getting booked, if your person isn't here, you couldn't go.
Yeah.
Like some of my clients, I could not get to even, thank goodness for, FaceTiming on Apple to talk them through, this is probably what you should wear on your couch.
Right.
For the awards, which was great.
So
when you're doing all your behind the scenes stuff, you need to be doing this, showing the product, showing the dress, saying who are you wearing, what are you wearing, all of that's important.
Yeah, so it's I felt like I did enjoy the award show better being online, though. I mean, in this virtuality factor, I think a lot of the jokes did not land well, just because it was I think it was too new and everything was too heightened. That
it was more of a crash and burn. Yeah.
In technical difficulties, Justin Bateman wound up getting John Cephas's award for outstanding actor in a series. It went to Justin Bateman, but it was supposed to go to Ron. And
how did that even happen?
so it was
Right.
some technical thing. I was like, now it's happened at every single award show. I
Right.
don't think it's bad as us having technical difficulties anymore. If they can do it on the Emmys and have ridiculous budget and we doing it on trying to make $1 out of 15 cents over here at Mahogany Steel Productions, I don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
But in it, Ron and his daughter did make Emmy history, where they are the first two African American, first father-daughter duo to both win Emmys on this in the same year, same night, and being people of color. I thought that was kind of spectacular.
Yeah.
In the light of it,
Mm-hmm.
was, but it was sad that he didn't really get his flowers. Like he didn't get the acknowledgement that he probably that he's well deserved, because he's amazing on
Yes, he is.
on This Is Us. So I was really I was saddened but glad at the same time.
Yeah.
So in our regular fashion, gonna send things on over to Mr. Damien for our mental health check-in.
First, I'll start with my beautiful City Love Speaks family. How are we doing today? What's going on? What's the tea? Are we on a positive? Are we on a negative? Are we in between?
I'm on the struggle bus today.
Okay, got you. That's understandable. I totally understand.
I'm drinking full Douce. Like,
Right.
I done went
Pour it up.
I went right to the Douce. Said, F the wine tonight. I need something a little stronger.
I'm standing with you, bro. I got you right here.
We bless God on tonight for that. Thank you.
Well, right.
Amen. We praise God for you. Amen.
Right.
Amen.
We praise God.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
I my physical and emotional emotions right now. So.
Right. All up in it. Unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, how about you? Mr.
Look.
Vacation.
What can I do if I'm not feeling good now? When am I ever gonna feel good? I think that I would say, and unfortunately, I still have to say that I'm middle of the road, because despite the fact that I had a great time in Vermont, I got to meet some friends. Doesn't change the fact that we have just gotten a massive curveball that is going to change the next 50 days up until the election, if not the rest of our lives. I don't want to step on the next 20 minutes of the show, but yeah, I'm because I have family that I'm not happy with, and it's only going to make it harder.
Adding coals to the fire, per se, huh?
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Coals on the fire. And just also generally worried about even more worried about the state of human rights in the country. So, no amount of time in Vermont could make up for the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Ben.
Dwayne, how about you?
I'm feeling a little bloated right now. It's that time of the month, a little bit. No, I'm kidding.
Really?
For you.
Summer's Eve.
Comma.
Yeah. Yes. No, I'm
actually.
I'm feeling great. Today. Listen,
awesome.
I love the fall is my season. Fall, winter is my season.
Okay.
It just brings something out of me. It's the holiday. The holidays are right around the corner. Pumpkins, pumpkin pie, Christmas, all that. It's heading our way, everyone.
Yeah. All the goodies.
Yeah. Goodies.
And also, Queen Tabitha, how are you today?
I'm indifferent. I'm kind of in the middle. It's the autumn equinox, so I feel like it is the turn of the tide. I feel like there's a transition in my soul happening. I do love fall, but now that I live in San Francisco, I don't really get a fall.
Yeah, we don't have that here.
I miss the Pennsylvania landscape so much, because it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen at this time of year.
Yes.
But I also am concerned 42 days out from election day. And like I've had really great things happen in my life in the past 48, 72 hours, and also not so great things. So I'm trying to balance it out. I'm trying to find my balance.
Yay. Yay. As for me, I had to just cut everything off because, of course, like all of you, I'm feeling the heat and the weight. And it's like, okay, pause. And if I may, just take a few moments just to share, because in my time of prayer and meditation, it's like an epiphany, like the light came on. You always know when you're in the right position because all sorts of obstacles come your way. Just out of the blue, just on random, just like, it's like W2F and TF and like how come and why, but I had to just get still and remind myself of the power that I possess. And when I'm in the right place, I can't lose. I won't lose. So no matter what comes up against me outwardly and also inwardly, I won't lose. So today, I have to say, with all of the other emotions that I still feel, I'm yet encouraged because I'm here and I'm getting to know me and I'm embracing this new journey. Hi, City Love Speaks. I mean, I'm just embracing all of it and just this wonderful, beautiful connection that I've made thus far. So I'm optimistic above all things. In the midst of all things, I'm optimistic. And I want to speak to our viewers and let you know you're not alone. I too have pursued suicide. Thank God I'm still here, but it's real. But we want you to know there's someone waiting to talk to you right now. At National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, you can give them a call at 1-800-273-8255. Once again, that's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That's 1-800-273-8255. Don't hesitate to call. They're waiting on you.
So you can also go to our City Love Speaks Instagram, as well as subscribe and follow us on YouTube and our Facebook page. I would say to get more information. And if you need the information in Espanol, it's also provided for you on Instagram, on City Love Speaks, YouTube, and Facebook. So, COVID-19, we've reached 200,000 deaths within the United States.
Yikes.
Which is painful and crazy. We have we're now in a place where we have not had as many deaths in a war combined that we have.
That's crazy.
For this. I can't stress enough the necessity to do your part. Wear a mask.
Please.
Wash your hands. Like, I mean, it's really not this difficult. I don't know why it's this hard. I don't know why it's this hard.
I don't.
After Orangina's whole town hall on ABC, where he got drugged by all the Black people that asked questions that I enjoyed. That was the best part.
Yes.
So wear a mask. It's really not this difficult. It's really not this difficult. Put it on, put it around your ears. You're done.
That's it.
You not only just protected yourself, you protected everybody around you.
Right.
And even if you don't love nobody else, so let's just say, we keep talking about, so you should do this for your loved ones. Forget your loved ones. Do it so that the next person that you can't stand on the train, on the bus, on the street, that you just can't stand, does not give it to you. How about that?
There you go. And let me just piggyback off of that. And that we're going into cold and flu season. Now people are going to be even more paranoid because the minute you cough or sneeze, everyone is going to be like, "Oh my God, what is it that?" It's just going to be pandemonium.
Facts.
Like, oh my God, you got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
And there's nothing to do about it. It's like just wear the mask. It's not going to kill you to wear the mask.
It's not that serious, guys. Wear the mask.
So
right. I rode a bike this weekend, masked, no problem at all.
Hey, boom.
Zero.
I teach dance every day with a mask on.
With the mask. I'm just saying, wear the
No
mask.
Cardio,
problem.
exercise,
No
essentials,
problem.
the mask. It's just that simple.
You
It's
know
not
what?
rocket
I
science
got
at
a
all.
cute one with rhinestones. Like,
Yes.
ooh.
You can get fancy and everything. You can
Fancy
div
with
it
it.
up if you want to.
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can have any mask you want. It could say
Right.
anything.
And if you don't want to wear a mask, like my daughter's boyfriend showed me over the weekend. They came over Sunday to have dinner with me, and so he doesn't really like wearing a mask, like the ones that go around your ears, hold on, whatever. So
Mhm.
he got a regular like hair tie band, like the that pulls all your hair back, the rubber
Right.
ones. Connected it to a bandana, so that way it has a band to go on his nose, and then he ties the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's simple.
Easy. Simple. So I'm going, there's so many ways to hashtag wear the damn mask. And
Please and
so
thank you.
Right.
I'm challenging all of our viewers and followers to take a photo of yourself in your mask, tag us in it, hashtag wear the damn mask. Next week, we will actually post the hottest mask wearers, and there may be a little special prize for you. Just
Yes.
I'm gonna win.
Could I
Right, it's
enter
gonna
in
be
that?
wow.
I'm gonna win.
You can't win when you're a judge.
Okay then. Okay then. Okay then.
I'm
All right.
just
Okay.
short to win. So,
Right, if that's the way you want it.
short,
Geez.
you know.
Damn it.
Otherwise, I would beat
You
everybody.
run such a hard bargain. Oh.
I would
All
beat
right.
everybody.
My mask game is tight.
I don't think you understand
Right.
the amount of Swarovski that I have in this house right now.
Listen.
When I tell you,
Okay.
I can bring a whole face down. So I'm going. I don't think y'all want to go on that challenge.
All right. Now.
But on a somber note, this weekend we lost a true giant, the notorious
Yes.
RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Of course.
I was so emotional. Like, I got to meet her when I was like 30, in DC, like doing some like volunteer work, and she actually came and to encourage the work that we were doing with Planned Parenthood, and she's only a little bitty thing, like I am a towering giant over her, but when I tell you that she had some style and some flair, that she seemed as tall as me, like how she carried herself, which was kind of remarkable. She was so smart. She's done so much. Um, Tabitha, I'm going to kick this over to you. Notorious RPG.
Yeah, on a Friday, we lost a true icon in American history. She was appointed by President Clinton, and ever since then, she has been working nonstop, literally until her last breath, to take care of the people of this nation. And I'm sure her legacy will continue on. Um, just a couple of things that she's done. If you're a woman and you obtained a mortgage or a checking account, or were able to start a business, or to get the same disability rights or retirement rights, you owe her a debt of gratitude, because she is responsible for advocating for women
Yes.
throughout her entire life. Unfortunately, her death 42 days before the election is starting to cause quite the stir. And my hope is that people will err on the side of honesty and integrity, and do what's right and wait until we have a newly elected president to fill her seat. That was her last request. And hopefully that will happen. But within hours of her untimely passing, obviously the GOP decided to insert themselves into everybody's mourning by declaring that they would appoint a new person before that. Now, if you remember when President Obama tried to do the same thing, he was 8 months out and they said it was too soon. We are now 42 days away from Election Day. It is National Voting Day, Voter Registration Day. So obviously it's too soon. But as a last ditch effort, obviously the president would like to insert himself yet again and imprint himself on American history. It's deep, it's sad, and a friend of mine who is an iconic figure in our artistic community said, "Her death and her passing is not the end of our fight. It is simply the beginning." And it's a constant reminder that we need to push forward and make sure that we are registered to vote, double check, triple check, make sure your friends are registered to vote, make sure you have a voting plan, make sure you get out there, make sure you advocate for the things that are right in this world, because if we don't, no one else will. And now we know that we've lost someone that is in the Supreme Court advocating for us, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we do the right thing.
True. And like at the end of the show, we will, like we always do, give you all the information that you need to double check to make sure that you voted. That you have until October 5th to actually, request your ballot. Like, unlike where Tabitha is, where they actually send you your ballot.
Mhm.
We have to request it pretty much everywhere else. So that, but Mitch McConnell, oh my God. So, and between Mitch McConnell, I don't know if I'm more angry at Mitch McConnell or Lindsey Graham. I don't know which one I'm more angry at. Because last week
I need a drink.
I was like, Lindsey, I have faith in you. I have faith in you, Lindsey Graham, that you weren't just a party lackey, that you really
You have faith
were.
in Lindsey Graham?
Well, this is why. Because Lindsey Graham is on the right side of history when it comes about getting rid of Trump. Like he is on the right side of history about that factor. But what he is not, what I don't think what he's been able to figure out is how to balance his party loyalty to the loyalty of the people that are running the party.
Mm-hmm.
Which even more so this week let me know, like, wow, Lindsey, you really are for the power, not really for the people. Because the thing about the Republican Party is a people. It's not really about, like, we're just now, what you say, really getting into where we're able to name high-powered Republicans that are torpedoing anything that's Democratic oriented at all. For years, that wasn't the case. Before, African Americans were actually Republicans. They weren't Democrats. Not until Clinton. So my thing is, it didn't become this massive, like, switch over. So for Lindsey to have testimony that every major network has been playing, that, so if this happens and we have a Republican president, you can bring this back up on me and I'll stand by, this.
Gave Jamie Harrison an epic campaign ad. Like, just handed it to him.
Which I just donated to.
And Justin, if I may interject, since we're speaking on world politics, CNN just posted that Cindy McCain just decided she's endorsing Joe Biden.
Yeah. But I knew that. Well, I knew that was happening. I was going to talk about that in the in State of America. You broke my news, Damien. But yeah. So I was like, it like super, super, super sucks that that they lacked such respect for her in her position and who she was. It just truly showed the true misogyny of our government leaders at the end of the day, to the point where, I mean, literally, her body was not cold. They had just announced that she was dead. Like, it didn't even give anybody any time to even, what you say, process the
Right.
fact that, and it just went to go to show. And my thing is, and what I think for me, what makes it worse is that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a woman for all people, but she was a champion for women. And in that being a champion for women and all that she's done to create equality for women, for a man, for there not to even be funeral arrangements made, to say, so we're going to put this nominee up, we're going to vote on who's going to replace her. What the hell? It just went to go to show the misogyny factor. And the candidates that they're screening for it are women, but they're women that do not believe that women really should have rights over their productive system. And the front runner, even though she is Catholic and she has 7 children, her husband is head of household. Meaning, if he told her to quit her job, she would have to quit her job. If he told her he wants to have 12 more kids, she has to figure out how 12 more children. Like, all of those things. She's not a progressive woman. And so, which our world is full of progressive women. We don't have the doubting housewives anymore, really. I mean, we don't have the doubting housewives anymore so badly that ABC did a whole show called Desperate Housewives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Am I the only one that remembers the GCB, the Good Christian Bitches? It was my favorite. They were all powerful working women.
The Good Christian Bitches.
I'm just saying.
Has a ring to it.
The day of
Hallelujah.
My God. My God.
Amen.
The day of that woman is kind of over in the sense of the stay-at-home, because even stay-at-home moms now run businesses from home.
This is true.
Like, it's very rare that you're seeing a mom now, especially now, because with the pandemic, any adult that can work is working.
Right.
At this point. Or worse, you're raising your children to do so. Like, even if you're the stay-at-home mom, you're sending your daughter to school for her to become some type of executive or whatever, because you don't want her to be in the same track that you decided to be in with her damn daddy. I'm just saying, this is how it's been kind of forming out in these traditions.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know.
Come on with it.
Say it. Let the record show.
But
right.
So,
hallelujah.
And speaking about women and equality, Dwayne, so how are you feeling about this whole? So the Oscars now have formulated this plan only for Best Picture, for inclusion and diversity, and there has been this really great story that has been trending through like Black Twitter and through the Hollywood blogs and Variety about how like Anna Kendrick and Gabby Sidibe were both at the time 10 years ago starlets. They were Hollywood starlets. They both were nominated the same year for Oscars. Neither one won. But the doors vastly opened for Anna and did not for Gabby. Do you think these new rulings are going to change how Hollywood sees us and opens the door for us, or do you think it's just going to be what it is?
Honestly, I feel like it's gonna cause some issues later. There's gonna be some loophole somewhere where uh, a film that we might feel as if is the best film that is a great representation of everyone underneath the sun, that's not going to be best picture. And I have a couple of reservations about that. um, Even just reading through everything, I noticed that the criteria from crew members to actual supporting actors to the supporting roles to the background, it can be a little bit confusing at the same time for those who don't quite understand what they're supposed to do, especially for like those filmmakers who it's for them it's more of a checklist, like, okay, we have a Latin sister in there. We have a Latin brother. We have a LGBTQIA person. Like, it becomes a task for them now just to like satisfy uh, the criteria versus making something that is beautiful. I think it is important for us to really have those conversations and have those topics be addressed in these films that are coming up in the new year. Um, but at the same time, is it going to really affect the artwork of it all? If you guys are following me with that,
I
like
don't,
if I
to be honest, I don't think it would, just because the stipulations are so are vast. They're vast stipulations. It's not saying that you have to have black people, um, or you have to have Asian people, but I think it's saying that you have to show diversity. You have, and they give you what, 7 options, and you have to only pick 2. So meaning, I was watching this thing on Variety earlier, and so it felt like all the people of color are so on board with this whole situation.
yeah.
And because what we see as people of color in the arts world, oftentimes what do we see? We see that, oh, that role could have been played by a person of color. There's no significance of their race in this color. Then one of the actors was like, well, it was a great movie called 1917 that was out, and it would have never made it following these protocols. And I'm like, but it would. One, it forces the director to actually do some history. Black people have been in every single war. Every single war,
Absolutely.
there's been a black person, a Spanish person, or Asian person in every
Hmm.
single war. There, in a war, there's always going to be a afflicted person.
Right. The
So,
British pulled hundreds of thousands of Indians from the subcontinent to fight in the European front. Like, there are loads of people of color there.
so why? My thing is, so it for me. It just kind of showed a little bit of ignorance in the sense of, I understand that you only want to show a polarized version of what you think, but what we know is historically we've been in everything. We've been everywhere.
Literally.
you know, and sometimes I even forget that we have literally been in every single war, every single factor, and it's kind of funny that, like, in watching a movie, a documentary called Disclosure, where a transgender person has more recognition in film than a person of color when you look at the history of film going across the board. That So I don't think these are difficult. Um, I don't think they take away from the artistry. We went through this in fashion just 5 years ago, where it was like designers weren't using black models at all, saying it wasn't part of their musing. Well, muse is normally one person, not a collective of 28.
Right.
And at the end of the day, people of color are the ones that keep fashion alive throughout the world. If we're not wearing it, white girls ain't wearing it. It's just not happening.
No, right. It's not.
No.
Like, it's just a reality. So I don't know. I think it's a great thing. I do think that it is going to allow us to make it more difficult, I think, for Black directors and writers. I think it'll be more difficult for them. Um, but I think is necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damien and I got into a heated debate about Schitt's Creek and Insecure, and how Schitt's Creek kind of won everything. But I'm like, and I'm a fan of both. I'm a fan of Schitt's Creek, and I'm a fan of Insecure. But
same here.
Schitt's Creek is more diverse than Insecure. At the end of the day, it's a more diverse story. It has more diverse people that have more diverse stories in with those characters, where Insecure doesn't do that. Insecure is a polarized group of Black people only on the West Coast, because East Coasters don't act like this. And then there's a whole episode where you bash the East Coast people because you make all the East Coast people seem like they tricksters and shade on Insecure, because they did this whole bridal bingo and they door dashed and played.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
And so it brought back the whole Biggie and Tupac, East Coast against West Coast, all over again. Like, it didn't, like, Issa got a whole gay brother that has no storyline.
I would listen. Let's not even get into that, because I have I was so pissed off of knowing that he only had bits and pieces. Like, I want to know his backstory. Like, that was. I don't know if that was like intentional that she did that, or I don't know if it was her. Well, whoever the writer was for the episodes where he was in.
I think it's fear of talking about gay issues as Black women, because the only issue that they talked about was when in season 2, when Molly was dating the dude that back in the day in college he had a boyfriend. Like, he tried having sex, and
she just couldn't get over it.
But there became this big stereotype situation. It wasn't dealt with, and then
just shut down, and that's it. Move on to the next episode.
Okay. But then on the next, it's like you got Kelly doing every gay lingo term that you possibly can get through every episode.
Right.
But we don't want to talk about, and there is a conversation I think that Insecure would be able to fix within the Black community when it comes to Black women and gay men, and how these secret conversations are just that. That it's like, when you're with, like, there's this thing where most Black women will automatically assume that because you're gay, you're the girl, or you're a girl, and then they address you that way, or it's now you're a miss, or not, whatever. It dehumanizes you or demasculinates you, when that's not the case at all, out of sheer of them, because we cool like that. And it's like, Black women can call each other bitches if you friends, but let some old random bitch call you a bitch. That's not okay.
That's not okay.
Like, who that? Who?
But
I'm about to pull up. Like, what?
But gay men are the same.
What? Nigga who?
Or I'm gay friend, because I'm gay, and she knows a gay guy that's her friend, that we now either need to date or be friends just because we both gay. That's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
Not how any of this works.
You're not gonna hook me up with no.
But I'm sure, Damien, I'm sure you witnessed it.
Oh.
And Tabitha, you have enough gay friends that I'm sure you've seen them do that. I don't believe you would have ever done this to anybody, but I'm sure.
No, I've never done it, because I grew up with really progressive parents in the oddest of times, and they like, it's so funny. My mom is very conservative. You know, she's very Southern belle woman that keeps a gun in her purse, and
Yeah,
Yes.
she's
I
very
knew I
traditional.
I knew I
Got
did.
that heat.
But she raised such a progressive daughter that it like turned around and taught her things, you know, because she was always teaching me about how to address people and how to treat people and how to approach people and how to learn about people and be quiet and listen to what they're saying before you make assumptions. And you know, now when we have conversations about all kinds of things, she's just like, "How did I get such a oh, that's right, I raised you." She's like, "How did I get such a feminist?"
I
Oh,
love
that's right. That's my fault. So I've never done that I know of, that I'm aware of, and if I'm sure someone would call me out if I did. Um, but I think it is an issue between Black women and Black gay men. It's just a dynamic that needs to be addressed. I think her writers' room didn't want to touch on that because they chose to take the scope of um, having Yvonne Orji's character involved with an Asian man, and that was the scope of this season, and of course Issa's relationship. But I think it's something that people are afraid of because there's so many layers between Black men and Black women in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you lay any kind of cultural identity on top of it, it becomes a whole nother playing field. And it's a lot to approach and be comedic and be, you know, have the great soundtrack and all of those things in a show. I'm not saying that they won't ever do it, but I'm sure that it's something that probably has been brought up. And they tabled it because they're like, ooh, we just don't have time in the season.
they didn't even
Right.
really address Molly dating an Asian.
Yeah, it was just
Well,
like, here he
Like,
is.
you know, that would not fly in no Black home, Black friends or nothing. That all of a sudden you done showed up with Egg Foo Young, and it's like, and ain't nobody said nothing.
And
Did
they
you
leave.
say food young? I'm done, and it's a
No,
wrap.
that's not
Good
going
night.
down the
I cannot on tonight. Not today.
no,
Bye bye. I gotta go. Where's the
Wanna
red
take a
button?
chance to
Where's
watch
the
the
red button? Is there an X on it or somewhere? I need to find the button. Hold the
know,
line. Wait a minute.
y'all know
Excuse
that's
me.
how it was gonna go down.
May
Y'all
the
know it
Lord
was gonna go
watch while we're absent, one from another.
Egg Foo Young.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
down. Don't
Hallelujah.
shoot the
Okay, Dre, hold on. Dre, excuse
Where's
me,
the
excuse
line?
me.
Where's the
I
line?
have something to say. I have something to say. Time out right there. But listen here.
Listen here,
Ah,
young man.
let me gather my bearings. But listen, I mean, of course, yes, as Dre said, we had a good old hearty discussion, amongst friends, because of course I've been raised a certain way in a very strict religious home. So certain things I couldn't say. But I also, even in the midst of that, I learned how to be a gentleman. I learned decorum, how to carry myself with some integrity and dignity.
And some
Yes,
manners.
I know how to let my hair down. Yes, anybody that knows me, I will be Damien Michael at all times. And this has no filter, so just be prepared. Um, but I also know how to respect boundaries because that's another main subject that needs to be talked about within that are boundaries. So, there's some, gay Judies that don't mind, hey, Dick, and then there's some like, hey, no, no, hold up, you
There's a
know,
time and a place for it.
right, right. I don't have to slip up and, so
Right.
let's be peaceful about this. But, I mean, it's all about respecting boundaries. But as far as I'm going to go into this conversation a little bit smoother, when it comes to Insecure and Skits Creek. Um, of course, when it came to the Emmys, I got a little tired, and honestly, especially the ways things have been when it comes to African American people and our culture, and the lighter people, um, our lighter cousins, them. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Come on.
it's a hard thing not to look at something in a black versus white manner,
True.
especially when you know realities and truth and fundamental truth. we all know this. This is nothing new. We're all well educated, and a lot of things didn't even take education. It just our daily Black living, our life, day to day, things that we face, fears that we have, praying that it doesn't come true, praying that we don't have to slip up and chin check a white mofo, on a day to day basis. Like, God, hold my hand, please, please, Lord. I just want to be cool, But it's just you deal with all of it. So even with looking at the Emmys, and of course, because I even made a post about it, I said, you know what? I have to look at this from a professional point of view and give honor to whom honor is due. So it was Schitt's Creek, time to shine. Cool. And I love the show. It's a great show. I have no odds against it. But of course, I'm an Issa fan. And plus she's from Inglewood. So, Inglewood, so I'm all for it. So, when I'm just saying, every time they call Schitt's Creek, I'm like, okay, all right. Listen here. At some point, can she at least get one? I ain't asking for all of them, just one. But it was just like, okay. So, but like I said, I dared to watch the entire thing, which I don't usually do. But I watched it and I gave proper respect, and I'm like, okay, kudos. It was your moment. Of course, the son, he was like, and shout out to Issa Rae and Insecure. I'm like, that's so cute. No. Where's the award? Fuck you and your DD. Shout out. Where's the award, bruh?
Is now in 4. This isn't season 1 or season 2.
Right. And I agree. And I get what you were saying, Dre.
If we're going to hold Tyler Perry to better content, why are we not holding
Talisha? Oh,
right.
Okay.
Right. But my thing is, if we're holding Talisha to better content, why are we not holding Issa, where Issa has just a large enough audience?
Damien, shut up!
Not the wigs. You can't talk about the wigs.
Oh my God! I mean, that hair is just a travesty. It's an offense to God and nature. I promise you. Like, what in the world? But and you know what, Dre?
Like P Valley is Tyler Perry, and somebody tweeted, "Did you see them wigs? That ain't Tyler."
Thank you. Them wigs look natural, like they came from the scalp.
I was like,
that's why another reason why I'm all about P Valley. Like, right? Yes, I'm all.
P Valley is the business.
Oh my God! I get all my life, all my ratchet life with P Valley. I promise you, because it's real life. And you know what, Dre? I have to admit, I have to give you your kudos, because even though, yes, we had a very heated discussion, because, I went there and so did he, we both like, 2 rams in a discussion. I was like, oh, so I only got to be the white way, huh? It was like that. I was in my feelings, but I also understand, coming from the entertainment world, you have to look at things for a certain degree. Yes, it's true. Racism still exists. There's no lie. In all things, it does. I don't care what you say about it, it does. But also, there are certain things that we as the people need to learn and not be scared to go the distance. And to do it in its entirety. So I agree with that. And I get that. But I still want Issa to get in the wall, because it's not like Insecure is a bad show. It's a damn good show. So, so I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Because like I said, every time they was making an announcement, oh, shit, great. I'm like, I really want, I don't like the show. Yeah, I can't fight better.
I don't lie about it. So, but we're gonna take that into the after show. But what we're gonna go into is Steven, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about
Coastal Elites. Yes, Coastal Elites is new from HBO. It's a series of monologues that are done. It's 5 monologues that take place over the course of 2020. It begins with Bette Midler, a liberal New Yorker who gets arrested for stealing a man's MAGA hat, onto Dan Levy, who, not to trigger you, Damien, but he is in the movie.
And I like him. I like Dan. Yeah.
I like Dan too.
Struggling with a number of things as an actor, and also with gay representation in media. But also, it's right at the it happens to be at the beginning of shutdown, with not knowing whether or not film is going to continue, and so he's processing that. On to Issa Rae, a former classmate of Ivanka's, dealing with talking to a friend about Ivanka asking her to be basically her black friend to help correct her image. And then Sarah Paulson was doing a meditation video, but then ends up going into explaining, oh my God, she's good.
She's amazing.
So good.
How she tried to shelter in the Midwest with her family of Trump supporters.
Right.
And then I don't remember her name, but she's in a number of things. But basically a nurse from Wyoming who, the last one is a nurse from Wyoming who has volunteered to come to New York, and she's working at Elmhurst Hospital in Queens. And to sort of tie it up, she is serving, her main patient is Bette Midler. And so it's written by the guy who wrote the Addams Family Values, In and Out, and The Stepford Wives, and Sister Act, directed by the guy who directed the Meet the Parents series and the Austin Powers series.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
He's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I need to see this.
It's kind of a golden age for comedy directors to do hard-hitting things. It started with Adam McKay doing The Big Short and Vice, but it's the same thing with Bombshell and now this. And so I just want to, I think in terms of, do we keep it? I feel like that's a strange paradigm to use for this, but I'm just wondering what do y'all think? Like, Dre, I know that, so you brought this to the table. Why did you want to bring this to the table?
I thought this was a brilliant way to kind of express many people's thought process, no matter what color they were. I so identified with that Midler character because I live in New York. I'm really a New Yorker. I read the New York Times every Sunday. Like all of these things, and how infuriated I get when I see a MAGA hat. I just so identify with her. But I also identify with Issa because I grew up in that manner. I grew up in the manner where it's like you go to private school and you're friends and you have these white friends that want to be your friend because you're black and you help their image. And it was like, and it sounds crazy and dumb, but you remember the stupidest of stupidest things that are the things that irritate you. It was like when she was like, I can hear her smiling. I totally identified with her. But then it was like I can never remember her name because I keep calling her Miss Ratchet because she's doing Netflix. She's
Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. She's so amazing and brilliant just in general. But it also kind of reminded me of like conversations Stephen, you had with us about like your family and how you felt about like having to deal with them on
I literally have my notes. She's describing my dad.
Yeah,
like
it became so very, very real. And I was just like, what? Like there were so many moments that became real. I mean, Dwayne, I know you and I have been through this. I don't know how many times I've gone into a room and they were like, "Can you gay it up? What are you talking about?" Like
Absolutely.
understood where Danny was coming from, where they don't think it's offensive. They don't. They think because they want you to be. They don't realize that this is all the gay you're getting, like, or this is
Right.
all like this is who I am. It's not about like I'm not a caricature,
Right,
like, and so it was so many points that I was like, oh my god, this is a masterclass in diversity of like understanding diversity, understanding someone's anger, and how they get through their anger. All through it. I thought it was brilliant. Like, I was excited about it because Issa was in it in general.
Yes.
But then after talking to Damien and was like, you need to watch this right now, I was like,
yeah.
Well, Bette Midler's opening. Let me sit it down. And just how she described the Jewish threesome with her husband in New York Times, I was in. Because it's real. Like, people don't understand. When you're like, I've been in this relationship in New York City where it's like Sunday morning, you're like, you run downstairs, you get some Starbucks, you come back up and take, you know what I'm saying, and kick off your shoes and throw your sweatpants back off because you just in your drawers, and you jump in the bed with who you're committedly with, hopefully, and you're going through the New York Times. It's like a New York ritual. You fight over the art section, the whole night, whatever, and it's so much paper. New York Times is so much of a newspaper on Sunday that you are in a threesome. Like, you are having sex with this paper because it is everywhere. Like, it's intertwined literally everywhere. And so, and you can't do it digitally. Like, it's just not the same. Like, as you said, it's not the same.
It's not natural.
Like, through.
Not kosher.
Well, yeah. Also, I love her talking about like, just in terms of the New York theater scene, talking about, one time I saw a guy screaming at a Cabbage Patch Kid on the side of the road. 2 Obies and a drama desk. I was like, that's hilarious.
Tabitha, what do you think?
Yeah.
I feel like I know each of those characters personally and inherently. Like, being back and forth in New York, living on the East Coast, I know that Bette Midler character, the Sarah Paulson character, I went to high school with, like, all 500 of them. Like, it's so fascinating to me, and I thought it was really well done in terms of the layers that they threw in. Again, I guess that's my thing today. But the layers that they threw in to just one little monologue, and they weren't little by any means, but the way it started and it kind of pulls you in, and then you're like, oh, this is what we're talking about. Okay. And I feel like it was just done so well that it almost would trick people that didn't necessarily want to engage in those kinds of dialogues and those kind of conversations into watching it because the performances are so compelling. Like, they're just so good. Between the tokenism that Issa's talking about to dealing with your family that's Trump supporters. I don't have family that's Trump supporters, but I have a lot of people that I was friends with all through high school and college that are now texting me and sending me messages to validate their Trumpness. And I refuse to do it. And then they're all offended because I thought we were friends. I'm like, well, we were.
Until.
Right. Until now.
Yeah. It's like, you're worried about being racist. So you texted me, I'm saying you are. You're right.
Yeah. And then they go, well, I never was, like, racist to you. I'm like, but that implies that you were racist to other people.
Right.
And
wait. How do they think they can validate that? I mean,
they want me to be the token,
and of course,
and assure their feelings and make them feel good. Right. And and then I would bring up an occurrence because I have many in my life. And I would bring up an occurrence where I felt like they were being racist or using microaggressions, and they would be like clutching their pearls because they couldn't possibly believe that they were racist just because they're not waving the Confederate flag. I'm like, but your grandfather does. So
Your whole lineage, yeah.
Right.
You know, so it was fascinating to me because it brought up a lot of those, and I've been having tons of those conversations now because I actually have unfriended a ton of people on Facebook just because I didn't need that energy, and they've reached out to me. It's like, out of all of your 2,000 friends, you notice me
Yes.
that
Yeah.
I've
Because you
unfriended you.
posted, girl. You posted.
And so then they reach out to me and they're expecting me to go, oh no, no, you're like one of the good racists. But no,
There's no such thing.
I'm never
Overnight.
going to say that.
I'm a
Well,
good racist.
Racists are
Not
not.
a bad one.
That's all
And
it
I'm going to
is.
call you out. And I guess people thought because I was nice to them, just because I was trying to survive high school, that I'm going to be nice now. But I'm a grown woman, so I will curse you out. Okay.
well, so
Quickly.
this is the best segue I think that possibly could have happened. Right now, we're going to unpack the rest of East Coast, the coastal elites in the after show with Steven. But this was the best segue to the Negro Please Award. Through popular demand, she got a 97% total from our Instagram followers. Kim Kalick has now defeated Candace Owens with the Negro Please Award
I might need to drink the rest of this.
because and the reason she gets the Negro Please Award, because she tried to really come for Joy Behar by in her
Right.
That's the wrong person to talk.
The wrong.
She tried, like she tried to defend her Trump supportingness by doing a quick quib on Joy Behar at one point in Joy's life doing blackface, and which is a long dead issue. Joy has been exonerated by Black Twitter, and if no one was going to check her on it, Whoopi would have checked her on it for it to ever be checked, and Joy would forever be apologizing. So you tried it and you failed, but in your failing of it, Sunny Hostin is the one that took her down.
Another one not to be played
with.
Yeah.
Which I am loving. Well, see, I know this Sunny. Like, I know of this Sunny Hostin because I'm really good friends with a lot of Sunny's really good Boricua friends, and they about that life. They about kicking ass and taking names in a real way. So I'm loving Sunny and her Hispanic pettiness and her full blackness of girl, you tried it, and what you're not gonna do today is, because I lived in Baltimore, but you haven't. Like, all of those moments.
I'm
gonna watch that video again. I'm gonna watch it again.
When I tell you, it is the best. It is the best Sunny Hostin segment ever, and the brilliance of it is that it brings in the coastal elites so brilliantly, because if Kim was not, like, if Issa gave in, and Meghan McCain was definitely Ivana Trump. Like, it was that whole, like, oh, we're girlfriends, we should get together because the world is opening back up, because they're both Republicans. So Meghan always feels this camaraderie until Anna Rivera comes on, and then
she jacks her up.
Right. That Meghan really isn't a Republican; she's a libertarian that hasn't come out yet. She's just a closet libertarian. That's all she is. And I'm like, you married a libertarian, and you only married him because your daddy did, because he would have been like, we don't believe that way. I'm sure. I get it. You know, he been on your side. But you kind of blew it, girl. So I'm like, I think we may need to give at the end of the year like a shutdown award. Like there's been so many amazing Black folks shut down.
Complete.
And don't get me wrong, some Caucasian shutdowns too that have been for real. Yes, like full on brilliant. Like because Mark Ruffalo is like he could be a bae. I'm just saying. Mark Ruffalo is for the people. He for the folks.
Yeah.
Right.
You would think he had married four African women and had 12 children. Like I kid, like his fight for us is a lot stronger than most of the fight that I see from our own folks. Love him for it. Love him for it. And Mark Ruffalo can get it. So we want you guys to vote. Oh my God. Vote. Please. Vote. I can't say it enough. And today was National Registration Day. So please go to vote.org. Double check to make sure that you are registered. And if you are registered and you don't live in the San Francisco Valley, please request your ballot because on October 6th, early voting begins statewide. So that way you will be able to vote. People in Virginia have already been standing in lines to vote already. Pretty much, I can safely say that City Love Speaks is full-fledged Democratic Party. So I'm pretty sure of that.
I'm sorry. I'm a part of the Green Party.
Go, leave.
Oh.
No.
No, I'm kidding. Kidding.
I was like, he wouldn't have made it out of Chicago on his
right.
He was part of the Green Party.
So right, there's a blue side.
He repeated Dwayne's name up next to RBG talking about something. So we had two great losses this week.
Sorry.
So
just a brick coming towards my head.
Not sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is a Democrat like the rest of us.
Yes.
But what I do love about us is the factor of whatever party that we are in, what we are advocators of voting. Meaning is that no matter what party you're in, however you believe, vote. Voting is important. It is the only really way as an American citizen that you full-fledged your voice actually really matters. It changes the world. I was like, on top of that, if you have not filled out your 2020 census, it is necessary, especially right now, because we're in the midst of the pandemic. So this is the best time to make sure that everybody fills out the census so that financial funds go to your area of where you live that are going to be necessary.
Yeah.
Because COVID is real, which we know. If you don't believe me, please listen to Orangina's tapes.
Right.
The tapes are real. Don't look at any of the press conferences from the White House. Listen to those tapes.
Orangina.
Where he was not, where he felt like he for some reason with the reporter he felt very safe to tell his whole truth about how deadly this COVID situation was.
I wanted to downplay it.
And how he downplayed it, but he is downplaying it because he did it to every Black person that asked him about the COVID-19 on the town hall on ABC. So I'm just saying.
And I appreciate George for letting them have it. Thank you.
For every second of it.
One.
But I was even more excited about the professor from Cambridge that cut him off and was like, "Sir, let me finish asking my question."
Yep.
That part.
And I was like,
you read him for pure filth and point.
And all I was like, everybody got that Amy. Everybody got that 80. Everybody in the free world, no matter white, Black, Spanish, Asian, whatever. Everybody got that Andy that's like, what you not gonna do today is disrespect me, sir.
I don't care who you are.
I've been on this earth this long.
And I will take you out.
Right.
Right. My thing is, and she was here. She was here for all of the smoke. Like all of the smoke. And she's a historian. Like she teaches history.
Right.
Which made it even better. It was everything.
The ambiance, the essence.
Yeah, I was like,
afterball.
Everything. I was
like, something in the air. Do you smell it?
Afterball.
I was like, my whole soul was blessed. My whole soul was blessed. We're gonna go out with this. Dash.
Yes.
Oh, how I love thee.
Yes.
Let me count the ways.
Yes.
Not just because you got a big old booty and a big old titties.
Right.
Because you are a fantastic and fabulous actress.
Mm-hmm.
Not because every date you get, girl, is smoke. Like, yes. Like,
yes.
And women, like, you pull the date, girl. You pull the date. But why I love you the most is how you decided to check the customer service caller that asked you to give money to the police benevolent fund and said,
benevolent offering.
I sure give you some money when y'all arrest Breonna Taylor's killers. So you mean I have your support when you arrest Breonna Taylor's killers?
She gave me all things.
She said what she said. You forever have the support of City Love Speaks, Mahogany Steel Productions, girl. In support of you wholeheartedly.
We got you.
We got you.
We got you, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You will forever be my baby mama in my heart.
How you doing?
Please do not feel bad if I wind up with your ex-husband. Your second ex-husband.
Well, he is ex, so it's okay.
I don't know about.
Yeah, you know, here's what it is. How you doing? What up, bro?
I almost understand why you went down. This second girl, thrupples are a thing. Y'all couldn't work it out. I mean, but mo for me at the end of the day, mo for me.
How you doing?
Thank you guys so much for joining us for City Love Speak. You are tuning in on Mondays.
We love you guys.
For working it out with our new host, Damian Michael Williams, that's doing such an amazing job. Has 2 more episodes left for the end of his season.
I'm super humble.
Yeah.
We will see you again, guys, next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love you, and like I said, if you don't love yourself, don't expect nobody else to love you either. Love ya. Bye, guys.
Toodles.